While everyone was looking to BYD and Toyota's battery technology, Chery made a breakthrough that shook the entire EV industry. Yes, we're talking about Chery's new 1,000-kilometer range solid-state battery, which even experts are saying, if true, this will completely change the game. Imagine a battery that offers twice the energy density of today's lithium-ion batteries, charges faster, and can travel more than 1,000 kilometers on a single charge. Could this be the biggest turning point in the future of EVs? Chery didn't make this claim just for show. They've stated that this technology will be ready for production by 2026. This means that in the future, EVs will not only be cheaper and faster, but also ultralight and ultra-powerful. Now the question arises, will it really surpass companies like Tesla and BYD? Will this new battery usher in a new era in the global energy race? And will this change the entire electric car landscape? In this video, we'll reveal all the secrets that have shaken the electric vehicle market. So, stay tuned until the end of the video, because the information that follows will change your perception of electric vehicles. And yes, subscribe to the channel before continuing in the video to be the first to see such exciting and real updates. Before learning about Chery's new market-shattering battery technology, let's learn a little about the company itself, because its journey is a story in itself, showing that with passion and hard work, anyone can become a big name in the world. Founded in 1997 in the small Chinese city of Wuhu, this company has become one of the world's fastest-growing automobile companies. Initially, Chery was largely unknown. It was known only for small domestic vehicles and affordable cars. But over time, the company transformed itself so much that even major companies like Tesla and BYD don't take it lightly. In its early days, Chery faced many challenges. It lacked brand value, an international network, or a strong technology base. But it emphasized one principle: learn, don't copy, create. This philosophy shaped the company. Chery first strengthened its foothold in the domestic market, then gradually expanded into exports. Initially, it began selling its cars in markets like South America, the Middle East, and Africa, where people needed affordable and reliable vehicles. In these regions, people perceived Chery cars as affordable yet durable, and this is where the company's identity began to emerge. Gradually, Chery increased its investment in technology, opening its own engineering labs and research centers, and, importantly, working not only on EVs, but also on hybrid and fuel-efficient engines. Now, talking about the EV market, 2023 was a landmark year for Chery. According to reports, the company sold approximately 1.88 million vehicles, of which over 4.8 lakh were electric and hybrid cars. This means the company is rapidly advancing not only in the petrol market, but also in the electric future. Chery's biggest advantage is that its focus isn't limited to China. The company has launched its models in over 120 countries and is now preparing to enter Europe, South America, and soon the United States. The company now has several sub-brands, such as Tiggo, Arizo, Jetour, and Exeed, that target all types of customers. Exeed is specifically designed to compete with premium brands like Tesla and BMW. The Jetour brand is known for its family SUVs, covering the mid-range market. This diversity sets Chery apart from other companies. Chery's unique strength is its gradual integration of AI, smart drive systems, and new battery technology into its cars, ensuring they're not only affordable but also smart and future-ready. This is why Chery cars are now passing European safety standards, and demand for them is growing. While the world's attention was focused on BYD and Toyota's battery technology, a major breakthrough occurred that shook the entire EV industry. Yes, we're talking about Chery. the company that, without much fanfare, introduced a technology that could change the game for years to come. At the time, everyone was praising BYD's Blade battery, which boasted fireproof performance and extended range, while Toyota was touting its solid-state battery as a revolution in EVs. But then, Chery suddenly announced that it had a 600 kilo solid-state battery, a battery that could deliver twice the energy density of any electric car today. It sounds like science fiction, but Chery even showed off a prototype, and it's already caused a stir in the entire industry. What exactly is a solid-state battery? Now the question arises, what exactly is this solid-state battery, whose name has caused such a stir around the world? Let's understand it in simple terms. Most electric cars currently in use have lithium-ion batteries. These batteries contain a liquid or gel-like substance called electrolyte. This electrolyte transfers energy from one part of the battery to another. However, this liquid has a problem. If the battery overheats or short-circuits for some reason, it can ignite quickly, increasing the risk of fire or explosion. You may have heard many times about an EV battery catching fire, and this is precisely the reason. The difference with a solid-state battery is that the liquid component has been removed. In its place is a solid material, made of either ceramic, glass, or a special polymer. This solid component now transfers electricity from one cell to another. And because it contains no liquid, the risk of leaks or fires is virtually eliminated. This is why it's called the battery of safety and stability. But that's not all. The real strength of a solid-state battery is its energy density, meaning it can store more energy in the same amount of space. Simply put, imagine two batteries, an older lithium battery and a solid-state battery. Both are the same size, but a solid-state battery can deliver twice as much power or even more. This is why companies claim that if your EV today travels 500 km on a single charge, it can go over 1,000 km with a solid-state battery. And not just power, these batteries also charge faster. Because energy transfer is so fast in solid electrolyte, this reduces the full charge time by half or even less. This means that while today's EVs take 1 or 2 hours to fully charge, a solid-state battery can do the same in 15 to 20 minutes. Another significant advantage is its long life. Repeated charging and discharging of liquid batteries degrades the chemicals inside, reducing battery capacity. However, this problem is much less common in solid-state batteries because there are no liquid reactions. Therefore, their lifespan is estimated to be double or triple. Furthermore, these batteries perform better in both cold and hot climates. Liquid batteries can freeze in the cold or deteriorate in the heat, but solid-state materials can withstand these temperatures. This means that whether you drive in -°C or in 45-degree heat, the battery will perform the same. Chery's battery technology. Now let's talk about the thing that surprised everyone, the 600 kWh battery density. This sounds very technical, but simply put, it refers to how much energy can be stored in 1 kilogram of battery. UWH stands for watt-hours, which indicates how much power a battery can deliver for how long, and kg stands for kilograms, meaning weight. So, when we say 600 kWh, it means that each kilogram of battery can store 600 watt-hours of energy. Now, this may sound like a small figure, but it's actually a huge step forward for the EV world. Because the batteries used in electric cars today have an energy density of between 250 and 300 kWh. So, if Chery is actually developing a 600 kWh battery, it means its new battery can store nearly twice as much energy. And this will have a direct impact on your car's range, speed, and even weight. Let's understand this with a simple example. Suppose your car has a 60 kilowatt battery, which is common in today's EVs. This battery allows your car to travel approximately 450 to 500 kilometers on a single charge. But if the same car is equipped with Chery's 600 kilos solid-state battery, it could now travel 900 to 1,000 kilometers on a single charge. And it won't just affect range, it will also impact the car's weight, because when a battery can store more energy, you won't need a larger and heavier battery to cover the same distance. This will make the car lighter, and a lighter vehicle means more pickup, less power loss, and better efficiency. This means that along with performance, the load on both the battery and the motor will also be reduced. Now, if you're wondering why this figure of 600 kWh is considered so high, understand that no commercial EV has ever been equipped with a battery with such energy density. The highest that has been achieved so far has only reached around 350–400 kWh, and that too only at the prototype level. And now, if Chery surpasses this limit, it will leave the entire industry behind. And yes, this doesn't just mean longer range. When a battery can store more energy, it also means it can charge faster. Because there's less resistance to the movement of electrons inside the battery, this could reduce charging time by up to 50%. This means that if your car previously took an hour to fully charge, it could now be ready in 20 to 25 minutes. Another interesting fact, this figure of 600 kWh could prove to be a game-changer not just for EVs, but for the entire energy industry. Such batteries could also be used in aviation and space technology, where weight is a significant factor. This means Chery's innovation could create a stir not just on the roads, but also in the sky. But like everything else, there's an if. All of this will only be possible if Chery can make this technology safe, affordable, and stable on a large scale. Because safety plays a crucial role in a high-energy battery like 600 kWh. Any mistake could increase the risk of overheating and short circuits. But Chery claims that their new solid-state battery uses a solid electrolyte that's thermally stable, meaning it won't explode or leak even when temperatures rise. If this technology becomes practical, EV cars will have twice the range, half the charging time, and twice the lifespan. And that's why every company from Tesla to BMW is striving to achieve this. How this technology came to be. Chery's secret project. Now let's talk about the secret behind Chery's breakthrough. The secret project behind this battery technology. Few people know that Chery had been quietly working on this solid-state battery for several years. While other companies were busy launching and promoting new EVs, a special research team at Chery was working day and night behind the scenes to make this new technology a reality. This wasn't an overnight discovery, but the result of 6 to 8 years of persistent hard work. The company collaborated on this project with some of China's top technical labs and battery companies, such as CATL, the world's largest battery manufacturer, and the Qingdao Institute for Energy Storage, which conducts extensive research on solid-state cells. Chery's vision was clear. Create a battery that not only lasts longer, but is also completely safe and reliable. With this thought in mind, they brought together their in-house engineers and external scientists to launch a unique project codenamed Project S600. Initially, this research was conducted in small labs, where the battery would explode or underperform after every experiment. But the team didn't give up. They repeatedly modified the design, experimented with different electrolytes. Some used ceramic, some sulfide, some oxide, and finally discovered a combination that was not only stable, but also extremely powerful. Now let's talk about this battery's performance and safety, as these are the two things that set solid-state batteries apart. The biggest risk with today's liquid batteries is something called thermal runaway. If the battery overheats, the liquid chemistry inside it can become uncontrollable, causing a fire or explosion. This is why we've heard so many times about electric scooters or cars catching fire. But solid-state batteries eliminate this risk because they contain no liquid, only solid electrolytes that can withstand heat and control chemical reactions. Chery claims that their new battery performed exceptionally well in thermal stability tests. During the test, the battery didn't catch fire even when heated to 200 degrees, whereas typical lithium batteries ignite at 150 degrees. This means that even if your car is parked in a hot area or you're driving for long hours, the battery won't overheat and fail. Not just in heat, this battery also performs exceptionally well in cold conditions. Typical liquid batteries freeze in cold conditions, and their capacity decreases. However, solid-state batteries operate at 90% capacity even in temperatures as low as 30 degrees. This means that EVs can now run comfortably anywhere, from the icy roads of Norway to the hot sands of Dubai. Now comes durability, the battery's lifespan. A major advantage of solid-state batteries is that their electrolytes don't degrade, significantly increasing their life cycle, the number of charge and discharge cycles. While a typical lithium-ion battery lasts approximately 1,500 to 2,000 charge cycles, a solid-state battery can last 4,000 to 5,000 cycles. This means your car battery can deliver the same performance even after 10 years. Chery has added several new layers for protection, such as a multi-layer protection shield, which prevents short circuits and overheating. They've also used a unique self-healing coating technology that automatically repairs small cracks inside the battery, ensuring the energy flow is never disrupted. This technology was developed with the help of some of the top universities in Japan and China. The Chery team says they've tested this battery not just in the lab, but also in real-world conditions: long-distance driving, desert heat, cold, snowy nights, and constant charge-discharge cycles. After each test, they said the same thing: this is the most stable and reliable battery we've ever made. EV industry stirred: Tesla, BYD, and other companies. React. Imagine the EV world's turmoil when Chery announced its $600 solid-state battery. In fact, this news sent shockwaves through the entire industry. Until now, everyone believed Toyota and BYD were leading the solid-state battery race, with others slowly following. But no one imagined a company like Chery, once known as a budget car brand, would make such a huge leap. And as soon as Chery revealed its 600-watt figure, everyone from Tesla to NIO was caught off guard. Let's talk about Tesla first. Elon Musk's company had relied on its 4680 cells, renowned for their energy density and production efficiency. But Chery's claim has directly confronted Tesla with a question: is the 4680 obsolete now? Tesla hasn't issued an official statement, but according to inside reports, the company has ordered its battery team to accelerate solid-state research. Musk understands that if technology like $600 becomes available, it will directly impact the range and cost efficiency of its EVs. Some experts are even suggesting that Tesla will invest more in solid-state companies like QuantumScape to ensure it doesn't lag behind. Now, let's turn to BYD, the world's largest EV battery manufacturer. BYD's Blade battery has established itself in the market. Fireproof, safe, and long life. But now, Chery's battery has forced BYD to reconsider. Discussions are underway within the company to move the next generation of Blade batteries, Blade 2.0, in a solid-state direction. Because if Chery can produce its $600 battery at a low price, it will be difficult for BYD to call its technology the best. As for NIO, The company is already working on a solid-state battery project, claiming that its 150 kWh battery would give the car a 1,000-kilometer range. But when Chery mentioned 600 kW, NIO fans were surprised, because it means Chery's technology could be a step ahead of NIO's plans. NIO's CEO even said in an interview, "In the EV market, it's not just the name or design that matters. The real power lies in the battery, and whoever understands this will win the future." Following Chery's announcement, companies like BMW, Hyundai, and Volkswagen have also become cautious. According to several media reports, some European companies are now trying to contact Chery's research team to gain a closer understanding of this technology or to form some kind of partnership. This means that Chery has not just created a product, but has changed the trajectory of the entire EV race. To put it bluntly, this is the beginning of a new race, and in this, Chery is now positioned to become not just a partner, but a leader. This company has now reached a point where it poses both an inspiration and a threat to other giants. Because if it truly brings this battery into commercial production by 2026, companies like Tesla, BYD, and NIO will have to completely change their strategies. Range and charging time. How much will the car travel on a single charge? Now let's talk about the first thing that comes to every EV user's mind: range and charging time. How far can Chery's 600 kWh battery allow a car to travel on a single charge? The answer is almost twice the distance. Today's electric cars have a battery energy density of around 250 to 300 kWh, allowing them to travel 400 to 500 kilometers on a single charge. However, Chery's new solid-state battery has a density of 600 kWh, meaning twice as much energy can be stored in the same size battery. This means that if your car previously traveled 500 kilometers, it can now travel 900 to 1,000 kilometers. Imagine charging once and traveling from Delhi to Mumbai almost non-stop. That's the biggest strength of this technology. Even fast charging for today's liquid batteries takes at least 40 to 60 minutes, and normal charging takes several hours. However, solid-state batteries have a shorter path for electrons to travel and much lower resistance. This results in a much faster energy flow. Chery claims that their batteries can be charged up to 80% in 20 minutes and fully charged in less than 30 minutes. This means there will no longer be the need for long queues at charging stations. Furthermore, the introduction of solid-state batteries will also impact the charging network. Today, every EV company is working to expand charging stations due to the longer charging time. However, if batteries charge so quickly and have such a long range, charging stations will no longer be needed as much as they are today. This will reduce infrastructure costs and reduce traffic and charging lines in cities. This will also be a relief for governments and EV policymakers, as they will no longer need to install stations every 10 kilometers. Now let's move on to the production and launch timeline. Chery claims that its 600 kWh solid-state battery will be on the market by 2026. This date sounds very close, but the question is it really possible? Bringing any new battery technology from the lab to the market requires not just engineering, but also extensive testing, certification, and safety validation. The biggest challenge for solid-state batteries is manufacturing scale, as producing them on a large scale isn't as easy as lithium-ion. First, the materials are expensive. Solid electrolytes, ceramic separators, and protective coatings still cost a fortune. Second, the process of joining solid-state cells, cell 2-pack technology, requires precise temperatures and pressures, which are difficult to set up on today's production lines. The third challenge is safety testing, as every company must prove that the new battery will not explode, leak, and remain safe under long-term storage. These testing phases alone take 12 to 18 months. Chery is currently working on a pilot production line, where batteries are being manufactured and tested on a small scale. If this phase is successful, the company will begin pre-production by the end of 2025 and could launch it in its EV series, perhaps the Chery Exceed or Jetour models, in 2026. However, initially, these batteries will likely be offered only in high-end models, as the initial cost will be quite high. Another important point is that mass-producing solid-state batteries is not just a technical issue, but also a supply chain issue. Chery will have to rely on major companies like CATL for solid electrolyte materials and precision components. If the partnership remains strong, the 2026 timeline could prove to be quite realistic. However, if there are delays in any phase, whether in research, testing, or regulatory approval, the launch could be pushed back to 2027. Now, let's talk about the most important aspect for every buyer: price and its impact on the market. Whenever a new technology is introduced, it always comes with a higher initial cost, and the same will be true for solid-state batteries. According to current information, Chery's 600 Wh battery will initially be approximately 30% to 40% more expensive than lithium-ion batteries. This is because its materials, such as solid electrolyte, ceramic separators, and advanced coatings, are very expensive and require specialized factory lines to produce them. Furthermore, solid-state battery production is not easy. It involves high-precision technology and layers formed at specific temperatures, where even a small mistake can damage the entire battery. For this reason, initially, these batteries will likely only be seen in high-end EVs, such as luxury SUVs or premium electric sedans. Chery also plans to initially use it in premium brands like Exceed or Jetour to gain customer trust and then gradually increase production. The good news is that as technology becomes mainstream, its cost tends to fall. Just as mobile batteries or LED TVs were initially expensive, but are now commonplace in every household. This same trend will be seen in EVs as well. Once Chery and its partners, like CATL or Qingdao Labs, begin mass production of solid-state batteries, their cost will gradually decrease. Experts believe that by 2028 or 2029, the cost of these batteries could be equal to or even lower than current lithium batteries. And when that happens, EVs will not only be faster and safer, but also more affordable and within reach of the masses. Now, regarding the market impact, if Chery successfully launches this technology, it could disrupt the entire EV economy. Demand for a car that can travel 1,000 kilometers on a single charge and fully charge in just 20 minutes will automatically skyrocket. This could reduce demand for older EV models, forcing companies to update their technology. This means that EV prices will fluctuate dramatically over the coming years. They'll be expensive initially, but will eventually become cheaper as they become more widely produced. And now, the question is, do you think Chery's new battery will truly make EVs a technology for the masses? Share your thoughts in the comments. And yes, subscribe to the channel before continuing with the video to be the first to see such exciting and truthful updates.